Throughout this search, I never looked at more than titles, abstracts, and pictures. I didn't want to slow myself down looking too closely at the details. That's very easy to do when you're looking at patent documents, but that's exactly how you tire yourself out and make it more difficult to complete your search. Now that I have a collection of references, I'm going to take some time with them and see how close they are. That is, how problematic they are to my invention. We've selected 3 references to demonstrate how we analyze them in the context of the elements of our invention. I'm going to look at the documents over at Free Patents Online, both the PDFs and the text from the website. First one I want to look at is US 6606997. Click on the hyperlink to be taken to the PDF at Free Patents Online. As an aside, when talking about specific references, we usually just give the last 3 numbers and/or the first inventor's name. So we'll call it the 997 patent, or we'll call it the Vesta patent, or 997 to Vesta. As an aside to the aside, we say that the patent is to the inventor because that's what it really is, an award or grant of intellectual property from the government to the inventor. Back to the document. 997 is a smoking cessation apparatus and method. I'll hop over to the web-based version of this document so I can keyword search it with my browser's find text feature. This appears to be a smoking cessation device that does hold cigarettes, but in looking at how it works, it appears that the container does not lock. A quick text search shows no locks, bolts, clasps, catches, etc. Instead, this device collects data on the user and uses that data to change their behavior. So no lock and nothing about progressive. 997 to Vesta has some of the features, but not all of them. I'll make a note on my reference list, and I'll check off the elements it has on my chart. Now let's see if we can find one that's closer. Next, we'll look at U.S. Patent 6712075 to Garcia. Smoking timer. This has a pretty brief specification, and it describes a lockbox with a timer that opens based on settings from the user. So the user is setting the times between when it opens. This is closer to what Stop Smoke does, but it's not quite there. It's still missing the progressive element. As another aside, often when describing a patent's features, we'll say it teaches. This goes along with the instructional nature of patents. They're instructions on how to make and use an invention, so they teach. The most common phrasing you'll hear is the first named inventor, in this case Garcia, teaching the elements of the invention, in this case a smoking cessation device with a lock and a timer. All right, and back to the reference and to my chart. I'm going to note the elements, and then I'm going to move on to the next reference. The final one I'm going to look at in this search is 5203472. Just another aside, I see that this has a description of prior art where the applicant has listed out references that have features that are similar to this invention. Looking through this one, I see that it has smoking cessation. It's for helping people quit smoking. It does have a lock, and it's a container, of course. And it has a timer, and then I get to figures 6 and 7, and we're seeing something relating to progression. So then what I want to do is go and see where it talks about figures 6 and 7 in the description. And we see that this is definitely about progression. So this one checks off all of my features. This is what we might call a 102. This is a reference that has got all of the features, which means that if I want to get a patent on my invention, I'm going to have to do something more than what's shown here. I'll enter in the notes and check off all of the features, and I'm going to put a number 1 rank on this one and number 2 ranks on the other 2. As practice, why not take some of the references from this list and see if you can find which features are in them.